Women and Family Life Center's Men Who Cook event is an evening of food and fun and a chance for men from all different backgrounds to come together to prepare some of their signature dishes. Joining me today is Brendan Smith, one of the volunteer chefs. Nice to have you here.
Thank you for having us.
So this sounds pretty fun, men cooking.
Yes, it's a great event. It takes place at the O and Ego in Brantford. It's a major fundraiser for the Women and Family Life Center, which is in Guilford, but it serves the entire shoreline. And their main purpose is to provide low-cost programs for women and families that are in life's transitions. So, you know, maybe childbirth, they're helping teens with self-esteem. A lot of cases of divorce, sometimes domestic abuse, and they have both programs and support groups.
How did you get involved in the organization?
I got involved about 6-7 years ago. Actually, I had a woman come into our office. She needed help with financing and budgeting. And so we went through this and we had a lot of discussions, and then she told me how much the Women and Family Life Center actually helped her through her transition. And she said, she strongly suggested I become a man who cook, or a man who cooks at the event. So
now,
that's how I get involved.
Do you cook on a regular basis, or is this a once-a-year thing?
No, my wife and I split the duties at home, and actually I have to give her full credit. This is my wife Sue's recipe. So.
All right, and salmon patties, that's what's on the menu? Let's get started. Show me what we need to do.
Well, first part we do is we cook the salmon, or you can do it a day ahead of time because you want it to be cooled off. I decided to smoke it this time, add a little bit more flavor, but you could bake it or broil it.
Okay.
So then so that's 1 pound of salmon. Okay. Hopefully it'll come out.
And do you need me to turn the pan on? Or
yeah,
not?
let's turn the pan on.
Let's turn that pan on. Now, why am I thinking crab cake? Is it similar to that?
Yeah, very similar to crab cake, a little bit of a different flavor. And then what we do is we mix the sauce. First we add a 1/4 cup of shallots.
Okay.
Then another 1/4 cup of pimentos, all finely chopped.
Okay.
There we go. And then we add like a teaspoon of bay spice.
That's going to give it that seafood
Yeah, give
taste,
it a little more
right?
flavor. That's similar to what you see on the crab cakes. And then we add 1 egg just to bind it.
Okay.
And maybe 3/4 of a cup or a cup of breadcrumbs, and I just use the Italian breadcrumbs.
Great.
So then what we do is just becomes finger food. So we have to mix it all up.
Mix it all together.
Yep. So.
Now, is this the dish you're going to be preparing at the competition? Well, it's not a competition. It's more like a sampling, right? Tell us what guests are going to experience.
But the guests come, and this year they're doing what they call a small plate. So what they want to do is make it more like a cocktail party. So the men will be cooking more like finger foods, and we'll be passing them around, and but it's probably a little bit of a competition because if
who's the favorite, right? There's got to be bragging rights.
Well, if your plate goes early, then you know that people liked it. So you don't want to be walking around with a full plate.
I guess not. But it's all for a great cause. All the money raised that night will go right back to the Women and Family Center.
Yep, and it's a great program for people in the area.
Yeah, and you don't have to cook dinner one night. You might as well
enjoy it.
Sample away.
So what we'll do is we'll just do a couple. You want to keep them small.
Okay. Now the pan's hot. Do you need to grease it or anything?
Actually,
or you're
do you want to spray it a little bit?
I will be your sous chef.
You can actually do. I like using olive oil, but any kind of spray will work. And then what we do is we just throw a couple in there.
Okay. But that wasn't too difficult.
No, this is actually pretty easy.
And they don't seem really too unhealthy for you either.
No, this is actually very healthy. And then for our gluten-free friends, you can actually get a gluten-free.
Oh, good. The breadcrumbs, right?
Breadcrumbs,
Let me ask you, are you still looking for chefs?
We are still looking for chefs.
Okay.
From what I understand, we need about 20 to 25 chefs. There is a certain group of guys that actually like to do it every year, but we could always use a few more. So,
sure, all right.
Please call Women and Family Life Center and
that
volunteer.
website is right there on the screen now.
Fantastic.
Brendan, we're going to let these cook, and we're going to dig in at the end of the show.
That sounds great.
Thank you so much for being here.
Okay, thanks, Teresa.
All right, coming up next, wellness expert Ellen Barrett shares her favorite tips for keeping back pain at bay when Style returns. We'll be right back.